just how have you been spending this time at home? What have you been doing? How have you been keeping yourself occupied? And has that been a challenge?
Yeah, no, I've been doing pretty much what everybody else is doing right now, and that's waiting. Yeah, making sure my family was in a safe spot, making sure that we're all, we're spending a lot of time together. I am on conference calls quite a bit with Mike in the front office and our medical team. I've been keeping in touch with players, but it's just waiting around. A lot of waiting around, and spending a lot of time with your family. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last week.
Mike sort of said yesterday that he expected when there's a second spring training that it's going to be, it's going to be a pretty quick one. You had a month to look at players. How much do you think of your decision making is going to be based on that month?
Probably a combination of both. I don't know. We're in such a unique situation, one that we've never been in. I want to look big picture. I want to make sure that I'm giving everyone a fair opportunity. I think we were doing that for the month that we were together. That'll continue for the week to 10 days. But if that's what it is, I mean, like I said, I have no idea. I don't think any of us know how long of a spring, a second spring training we're going to have before the season starts. So I think it's going to be a combination of the two. We're always going to do what's right, what's best for the Orioles and the player. And so decision making on the final, I mean, we don't even know what any of the new rules are going to come into place from roster size or anything. So I think there's a lot of questions still to be answered. And I wish I could give you better answers, but it's a lot of unknown right now.
Bud Black was quoted a day or two ago talking about the possibility if this pushes close to summer and the possibility of game days is reduced tremendously, that maybe baseball goes to a doubleheader or two per week. I think a lot of those things will be discussed and speculated about as we get closer to those dates. But would you be okay with that, and do you think that would require another, at least temporary roster extension?
I'm open to anything. I mean, I'm just looking forward to the day when we get our team back together, we get the second spring training going, and we start our season. So, I think everyone wants to see baseball played. Everybody wants to get back into uniform, and we're ready for games to start. It was getting close for games to start, and everybody was getting excited about that. So I think, we're still in that mode. Whatever they do season-wise, we'll be prepared for it. If it's playing more double headers, I'm okay with anything, to be honest with you. That's something that the league and the Players Association, and those are conversations and talks that I'm sure that they'll have. But yeah, I just want to see our team play, and so whatever they tell us it is, whether it's no off days, double headers, whatever it may be, I'm good with it.
Hey, Brandon, what is the message from the team to the pitchers to try to remain some semblance of what they built up in camp?
That's the challenge right now is with the pitchers, and that the guys built up, and now with this layoff, we have no idea how long it's going to be. So that is the challenge, and we're putting together throwing programs and plans for guys individually, with the thought of it's an unclear timeline of when to be ready. I think we'll hopefully have a better idea as we go along, but as of right now, it's a real individualized plan for everybody, that our medical team, as well as our trainers, strength coaches, pitching coaches, have all gotten together with on conference calls and how we're going to really talk and put these plans together in place for our pitchers. And those will be adjusted and ongoing as we go along. But the first thing was to get our pitchers in a healthy place, on a safe place, and now we're talking about what kind of throwing program that they're going to be on here for a while. with an unclear, like I said, unclear date of when that's going to end. But that's just something. That's going to be, like I said, ongoing, and it's going to be individual depending on starter, reliever, etc.
Given your background in player development and what the organization is trying to do right now with the farm system, what kind of impact do you think this layoff has in those areas?
I think it is impactful in that there's guys, there's a lot of development to be had by a lot of players. Obviously, this can cripple the development a little bit in that you want guys to get innings, you want guys to get at bats, you want the guys to go through full seasons. That's really important, especially early on, understanding what what it takes to live through a full season and to compete for a full season. So that's going to be cut short. But I think, it's something that everyone's dealing with. There's 30 teams that are going through the same thing, and it's not ideal, and it's going to be tough, but everyone's going to get through it, and we're going to be fine. And if guys have to miss some time and miss some innings and at bats in 2020, that's just we'll roll with it and we'll go from there. But from a player development standpoint, it's you want guys to rack up the at bats, and you want pitchers to have meaningful innings, and right now they just can't do that.
A lot of teams around the league have announced some of their players going through surgeries now, because obviously with the time off, maybe some of them can get back and that kind of deal. Curious if any of your guys are dealing with the possibility there, weighing that, and whether this break would kind of push them one side or the other.
Yeah, as of right now, we don't have anybody. I have heard that around the league. I have noticed that, but as of right now, we don't have anybody following that.
Have you had any discussions with Trey and a sense of how he's doing? And as a piggyback to that question, one of the players that might have benefited from his time away is DJ Stewart, who was, late getting ready for the show. Could you give us an update on him?
Trey and I have exchanged quite a few text messages in the last week or so. I think the last time we traded text was on his birthday here a couple days ago. And he's in great spirits, and his texts to me are extremely positive and uplifting, and I'm trying to uplift him, and he uplifts me. So he's obviously a real special guy, as we all know, and thinking about him and feel really good about where he is mentally. With DJ, with the time off, there's, it's going to help him a little bit in that he's going to be able to finish his rehab. He's progressed very well. I think he was right on track or a little bit ahead of schedule with the injury, and so we expect him to be ready to go whenever we start playing again.
In terms of how you're going to start evaluating those guys if this thing stretches out longer and longer, is there a chance that they get to the point where they're kind of throwing on their own and sending video, and you're kind of evaluating them remotely, almost in like a way that a scout would? I mean, John Means went on social media today and basically joked that he was going to throw live BP to his wife tomorrow, and that he was going to stream it online. Is that close to what the normal might become, do you think?
Well, I'm not going to evaluate that per se, but yeah, I think. Well, I go back. I think that there's going to be a lot of FaceTime calls. There's going to be a lot of video sent back and forth. There's going to be a lot of coaching that goes through that we're going to be doing through video and through FaceTime. If we're going to evaluate to make a major league club because of that, I really doubt that. That's not going to happen. It's more of making sure these guys are on the track, following the plan, how they look with their mechanics, how they feel physically, those type of things, and that they're continuing to work on the same things that they were working on a week ago. just making sure that they're on track with that. But evaluating them to make a club through video, that's not something we're going to do.
In your many years in baseball, do you recall the last time it was this time of year and you were not preparing for baseball season actively? And with that, personally, just what has this given you thoughts of as you, the Orioles, and the rest of the world are going through it?
It's such a strange time. I wake up really early thinking that I have 47 things to do, and I don't. I've never been home this time of year. And so it's a very, very unique and weird feeling for sure. And I think a lot of us that have been in the game for a while now are sharing those thoughts together over the phone, that we're not sure what to do because we're just not used to not having anything to do at this time of year. So yeah, you just spend as much time with your family right now. Keep track of what's going on. Staying afloat with the news. I talk with Mike and some front office guys almost daily. Try to talk with some players, but right now we're in a holding pattern that we've never been in before, and so we're kind of going through this for the first time. And I traded text with a lot of the other managers too to see kind of what's going on with them and how they're handling it, and we're all kind of doing this together a little bit. So it's a strange period of time that I feel we're staying positive and we're going to get through this thing. But yeah, there's just not a whole lot to do right now.
Come Thursday, you think you might get a pang of sadness on what would have been opening day and playing the Yankees, and I guess you'll be home doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, opening day is such a special day, and there's a lot of emotions that go through everyone involved in an opening day ceremony. It's something you never forget. And this year it's just going to be pushed back. So we're going to wake up that morning wishing we were playing, but we're not. And all kind of the realization of that. And so now we're going to be looking forward to when the 2020 opening day is, whenever that is. So yeah, it's going to be a weird day, knowing that we're not playing that day, that we would be, but there's a lot bigger things than opening day right now, and there's a lot bigger things going on in the world, and that's where our thoughts and our hearts are with trying to move past this and to stay positive through what we're going through. So looking forward to the 2020 opening day, whenever that is, but right now we're just hoping everybody stays safe.